Russian President Vladimir Putin is continuing his attack on Ukraine. Of course, Ukrainian officials say that Russian forces have fired several missiles into the port city of Odessa, Ukraine's third largest city right on the Black Sea there, and killing at least one person. Meantime, as Vladimir Putin continued to spread his falsehoods about invasion, claiming he's trying to defeat Nazis, U.S. officials say 8 to 10 of Putin's Russian generals have been killed in Ukraine since the beginning of the invasion. So for more on this, what's happening over there, I'm joined by ABC News contributor Daryl Blocker and ABC News foreign correspondent Tom Soufi-Burge. He's live from Kyiv for us. So Tom, let me begin with you and that briefing that the Pentagon gave to U.S. senators, where they told the senators that a number of Putin's generals have been killed. What does it say about how Ukraine is fighting this conflict? Are they proud of that? Are they headhunting? What do you think?
Hi, Terry. Well, look, I think there's two theories for why Ukraine has managed to kill such a high number of Russian generals, according to these reports, in such a short period of time. The first one is that U.S. intelligence has possibly enabled the Ukrainian military to pinpoint where these generals are. The second is down to the command structure within the Russian military. It's pretty top-heavy. That means that only the top brass can make significant decisions. And with their defeats, they've been drawn, therefore, more and more onto the battlefield and into more precarious positions. And to put simply, really, I think it's highly significant. Any military cannot afford to lose a high number of senior commanders during wartime.
And Daryl, killing generals, for people who don't follow this, we have had in our history a number of generals killed in the Civil War, Stonewall Jackson, I think John Sedgwick on the Union side. But as a former CIA field operative, what do you make of this intel? And is this something that Ukraine is a win, or how is this impacting the war in general, do you think?
I think the impact has several layers to it. Of course, it's got to be debilitating to the general command within the Russian Federation. It's got to be debilitating to the troops that are following them. The fact that some of this information leaked out there, and whether it's true or not, gets lost in the actual delivery of this message. I would focus less on the number of generals and focus more on the fact that Putin truly has painted himself into a corner, and it is actually to his advantage to continue to move forward, because pulling his forces out would have to it would force him to address all the lies that he's been telling since, late March.
Yeah, he's put himself in a terrible spot, as you say. Tom, let's talk about Odessa. What's the significance of that city? What do the Russian attacks tell us?
Well, it's hard to see what Russia was targeting once again when it hit Odessa with missile strikes late last night and into today. They hit a shopping mall,
All right. I think we're having some trouble from Kyiv. We'll go back to Tom in a minute. Daryl, what do you think about Odessa? What's the strategic importance of it? What's Putin doing there?
Port cities have been strategically important no matter where in the world they happen to be. Odessa has been a warm water port for a very long time. Russia has not been shy about its intentions. So yes, this is probably second only to Kyiv in terms of strategic importance, militarily, economically, logistically, in terms of resupply of their troops if they decide to move outside of the Donbas and the Crimea, outside of the eastern part of the country. So yes, Odessa is extremely important to both sides.
We're looking at the battlefield yesterday, right now, and we want to say yesterday, President Biden kind of echoed something you just told us, which is that he called Putin a calculating man. But he said he's worried that Putin, quote, doesn't have a way out, as you said, that he's more dangerous now because of what's happened. What is the end game here? What does it look like? Is there one?
I don't know if he can be more dangerous. He's killed a lot of people over a lot of years, but dangerous in the sense that is he losing his grip on the power within Russia? Have the oligarchs, have the whispers started? Does he see the handwriting on the wall? I think he does. Personally, I don't think he'll be the president of Russia come January of 23, but we'll see.
That would be quite a transition, and maybe a rough one. Tom, good to have you back. I'm glad we have reestablished communication with you. So let's talk about the war crimes investigations. Look, as the Russian forces retreated from the north of Kyiv, they exposed this horrific scene. What can you tell us about where the investigations are? How much of them will be conducted by Ukraine for national trials? How much maybe by the International Criminal Court for international trials? What's the status there?
Yeah, Terry, I mean, the Ukrainians are getting international support. French police are currently in the country. They're also being supported by other countries and representatives from the International Criminal Court. But at the moment, the investigations are at the initial stages. Today, we spoke to the head of the Ukrainian police, and he told us that they are currently investigating more than 10,000 alleged war crimes in parts of the country which were previously occupied by Russian troops. They're collecting DNA to identify bodies. Some bodies are still being identified as I speak. It's a slow process, but their ultimate aim is to identify the Russian soldiers that carried out the atrocities and potentially the commanders who ordered them to do so.
And we're looking at the stats there. 10,000 war crimes have been alleged by Ukrainians, 1,262 more than 1,200 people found, dead bodies found of civilians. So, Daryl, let me ask you, these war crimes investigations, we've seen the International Criminal Court in The Hague move very slowly on other cases. How much of a difference do they make? We all want accountability. Can we get it?
I think their purpose is questioned even by the United States, which doesn't always recognize the court's jurisdiction. But I do believe that the Dayton Accords and what happened in the mid-90s in the former Yugoslavia is a perfect roadmap for how they should be doing this against Putin and those people who have been supporting these atrocities. So there were more than 90 people who were captured over a 2 or 3 year period. The Nuremberg trials only lasted a year. You know, there's precedent for a lot of this, but it's not going to be fast. It's not going to be easy. But there is precedent for the leaders of a country in Milosevic being tried. He died, before he could actually be brought to trial. But there's a precedent for it, and I know Putin is thinking about that, or he should be.
And the victims and their families cry out for justice there. Tom and Daryl, thanks very much. Tom, stay safe, please.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.